Where'd I go?
Oh,
We got box one.
Box 1.
what?
Okay, go to your
black box.
subscription.
True.
Go to your subscription.
Every card needs a black box.
My subs. Over here. No. Subscriptions. And then, okay, it hasn't shown up yet. Let me see. Okay, you should be live. Check your. You need to check your sub box.
Yep, right now. Here we go.
Click it, and if it's on, then 22. Okay, yeah. All right, good.
Are we good?
Are we on the television
Live?
now?
We're on the
Tellies. Okay, here's in the comments.
Is this the awkward look?
So
Are we on?
Where are the comments?
So
You'll be the
start.
moderator.
You go. Let me help him with the comments. The
Moderating comments.
We should have
What's up,
comments
guys?
like what to talk about.
I'm over here. I'm good.
So we're at the hangar right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and introduce
So
this.
there,
know
that's
this,
the
but
comments. It's just going to come up.
everything's done.
People are going to
Ask
ask
them what the
questions.
audio is.
So Devious, just
Yes,
say,
actually
Devious has a
answer that.
question, blah,
How
blah,
is the
blah, and then
audio?
just
Because
read
we're
it.
kind of
See
far
that?
away.
It's going to flow.
Okay.
That'd
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Read
That'd
the
be
dumb
rough.
ones.
We need
The
to
dumb
do
ones
that
that
too.
always end up being fun.
All right, Rob, get in here, buddy.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
We could have it
What is
angled
Rob say?
down more.
Yeah.
And then one pump swell on his butt.
On his
2 on the
butt.
bum. Like I'll volunteer as tribute. And you could that way everyone's in sync. This is a suggestion going out there. Hey,
All right.
I'm just here to help.
We're here,
I'm saying good.
and let's see.
It's Robin's fit. Unless he wants to get a lap on it.
Hey,
Simon,
Cliff,
what are they asking?
Close that door just a little bit for us.
Are they just saying hello to our friendly faces?
All right, so
Audio's good.
Is that
Audio is
Audio-
good.
audio's
Awesome.
good,
Thank you
good.
for letting us know.
there you go, Rob. You're over there.
Because last year I know a few people were like, the audio's not good
Good,
enough. So
exactly. So
Audio's good. Video's good.
no, they'd asked us if we wanted to open it, bring the cars in. So.
just be there the whole
Periscoping.
time.
Hey, that's Porsche kid in the back there. Wait, Porsche kid. There you go. All right, guys, we're gonna get started here.
Oh,
So
there we go.
do we
we
have
Good
have.
enough.
It's good.
Oh, yeah.
We can just
We're
get
gonna do this. We're all family here.
I'm trying to
We should family photo.
And then we can squeeze in more.
All right, no, we're good. All
I
right,
think we're good.
so we're here, guys, to answer all your questions. So shoot.
Cricket.
All right,
Just like that, why don't we
Just
start
like
with
that.
We're
conversation?
just gonna get the questions. So first of all, why don't we go around
Let's
and
introduce
introduce
ourselves.
ourselves? Exactly.
Rob, you
So
still
Rob,
not-
you're up.
Rob Ferretti here. Super Speeders Rob on YouTube.
For TJ Hunt, it's just TJ Hunt on YouTube.
So original.
Evan
Oh.
Shanks. Yep, I am Evan Shanks on YouTube. I'm a little camera shy, so we might have some issues.
I'm David Patterson, also known as ThatDudeinBlue on YouTube.
I'm Ed Bolian on any kind of
I
social
know
media
the
that you'd like.
And DoctaM3 also, when you're watching this channel. So tonight we actually have our hangar party. We had the Cars and Coffee this morning, rained out, sort of a much smaller meet than we typically have. But, you know, you had the core, hardcore guys that always sort of show up. There you go.
There we go. The slow.
If I do it slow enough, people think we're zooming a real
Yeah,
camera.
right there.
There you go.
That's good.
That's perfect.
Cool.
So we're going to be doing a hangar tonight. So, Rob, you just finished Adventure Drive. Talk to us a little bit, and so did you,
Yeah.
David. So you were both on that. Talk a little bit about that.
So Adventure Drive is really a scouting trip. As many people know, Ed Bolian is the current record holder for the New York to LA transcontinental. It's not a race. What is it?
You go fast.
Just at this point, it's kind of
From coast to
time
coast.
trial. There you go.
Okay. And Alex Roy was just using that as a ploy to actually scout out new roads in the way to beat Ed by at least 50%. Other than that, it was a fun driving adventure. I think personally that most of the roads east of, let's say, Denver suck. Like there's really not, and even when there are some nice roads up in like New Hampshire and New York State and everything like that, those are riddled with cops. So you get the same thing with Virginia. So anywhere there is a nice road, the East Coast sucks for
Sort of
speed limit enforcement and everything like that, and just enjoying the car. Out west, it's just they sort of leave you alone, and it just the space is so expansive and the roads are so nice. The cops aren't sitting there speed trapping people unless you're on like the interstates, but for the most part, you stay off the interstates because that's not where the fun shit is.
Yeah.
And there is like I guess it's called the National Parks Network. In the U.S., there's so many cool places, but they're so spread out. And they're not necessarily. Why? They're not necessarily on the beaten path. So to get to Zion and Arches, you can't just like, oh cool, I'll just fly into New York and take this shuttle bus. No, you can't do that. So you sort of have to drive, and that's what the trip ended up being. It's focused more on the driving. Some people have much nicer cars than what they brought, and they drove cars like I drove my GT3. I could have taken the 640, but the GT3 is more fun for what we're doing. So it's a fun driving adventure, focusing on the driving and much less on who has more money or late night parties and the endurance aspect of it. So
yeah, pretty much any car could do it. You know, that it wasn't like limited to only that crowd, if that made sense. Like we all had reasonable schedules. We didn't, you know, we all went at our own pace, which is nice. So nobody pressured each other to stay till 4 in the morning and all that. But it was great. I would love to do it again.
Yeah, sounds good. So TJ, what's new? What's been new with you?
School.
That was my answer.
Yeah, that's
School.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Was that?
How old are you?
20.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, started my 3rd year in school. After traveling all summer with these guys and doing videos with them, it's like living the dream and like doing exactly what you love. And it's like school and all, but it's like the rough transition to get back in. So that's why it was awesome to try and get this.
Here's your syllabus.
Yeah.
Wow. Syllabus week was rough. So I'm just like, I can't do everything fun that we did this summer.
No,
But well, if I can offer any advice, I dropped out of college.
Oh, like Ty Lopez.
Yes, I'm upset that I actually know who that is. Everybody brings him up, but and everybody compares me to him now that I did.
You're a spoof, actually.
So if I can have 20 seconds, the National Academy of Sports Medicine. So yes, I did some paid placement, and people went nuts. And they like, oh, this guy's like Ty Lopez now. I'm like,
oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
but a deal's a deal.
There you go. Yeah. So Evan, how about you? What's new?
I've actually had the same answer as TJ. I
School
went back
again.
to school.
Yeah.
I am kind of slowing down the YouTube thing. I'm trying to keep up with that, but because I always like to stay busy. But right now, school does come first. So that's what I've been up to on YouTube. Absolutely.
And David, you're just a madman.
No, never.
Not self-proclaimed madman.
Yeah.
So every time I talk to you, you just literally see it.
I think I should just copy and paste my answer to when you go, "What's up?"
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing. It's editing or filming or something.
Or you're actually on a
automated response.
Yeah, just like please leave a message. Because it's true though. But the thing is like once you start getting all these great connections, everything in, you almost get overwhelmed because you're like, wait, which one do I pick?
Yeah.
So like, for example, I could have gone to this, but also there was a bunch of events in Virginia Beach, other parts too, and I'm like, but you know, I have to come back and hang out with everybody.
Hangar parties.
It's like and I don't know if I'll even film tonight, just to hang out for once and just relax, actually enjoy it. Yeah.
Working on retirement.
Oh yeah, totally.
Transitioning.
Yeah.
So Ed, what's new with you?
No, I just sell a lot of Lamborghinis and McLarens and Aston Martins in Atlanta. Working on finishing up the book about the cross-country record, and a couple of guys are working on a movie about it. We'll see if that
nice.
Yeah, you never know. It's
I think it'll
Hollywood,
be
but I have a 1-year-old at home, so that's all
Oh, yeah.
concerning.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm sure.
It's and just living the dream.
So Simon, what question? I'm sure we're getting questions on.
Yeah, so we have questions coming in.
Yeah.
Anyone going to H220I?
H2O. I get asked that
That's the
every
VW
day.
thing, right?
Yeah.
It started as a VW thing, and then it just
Audi.
everything. But no, the thing about H2O is if you go with a pretty modified car, I'm talking camber, stance, whatever it is, they will impound your car.
Right. They will take
It's
it.
that straight.
Isn't it an English town, or am I thinking of something else?
OCP, no, it's Ocean
Oh,
City.
Ocean City.
No, I've been asked to go several years, but if I do go, I'm not bringing my car just to enjoy it and just film the actual meets.
You just want to go watch everyone else get around.
Oh yeah.
It's fun.
Those are always the best videos when you like.
Why don't they change the venue?
Stop
thinking.
Yeah.
Stop thinking.
Yeah. Stop.
Hey, everyone keeps getting arrested when we go over here. All right, let's keep doing
Let's
it.
keep going.
Like, why don't you just
Well,
go
do you
elsewhere?
remember
where
that
they don't
totally
care?
obnoxious 240 I reviewed, the
Yes,
tanked
yeah,
out one?
yeah,
That's from
yeah.
H2O. That's the
Really?
kind of crowd.
Or-
It's very like crazy and intense.
Take the Burning Man approach. Just go
Yeah.
where, if you have the people, just go where nobody else gives a shit.
Yeah.
It's true. So Simon, what other what questions?
I'm 20. I have a Porsche American Roadster Panamera, convertible Audi A4, a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and a four-door F1 F50. I want to sell a few and get my first supercar. What car do you all recommend?
Veneno.
Yeah.
Just get
Just
the-
right
tell them
now,
all get a
just
banana.
go for
Yeah,
it.
they
Right.
run super
Yeah,
sport.
and the 20 if you're qualifying it as a 20-year-old with a bunch of bullshit cars, just tell them. Get a banana.
The
Sorry,
next question is,
I'm
what
used
kind
to
of
the
watches
internet.
that you have on TJ?
TJ.
A Nixon
Michael
42,
Kors.
20.
I'm getting started.
It's nothing special.
Andrew has a question. How did you guys get into the YouTube world?
That's a good
Oh,
question.
that is.
That's a great question.
My
So-
invitation. The
My
rest of the
invitation.
answer.
I think we should start with David because David is the only person here who's doing it full time, and that's
It's
I
true.
think what you guys are going towards because you don't have, or you may, but if you're thinking about doing YouTube, a lot of people want to do it as a living, and David does it as a living, so the floor is his.
Yeah.
Okay.
The line.
Mic drop. Okay, so I'll nutshell it, but I went to school to work for Hollywood. I ended up doing internships in Hollywood sets, or like Hollywood sets, same thing, doing commercials and all that stuff. Hated it. And so I remember one day I was watching YouTube and I came across the first channel I noticed that was doing it full time. I'm like, how are they doing
Who
this?
was that?
First one I ever saw did it was Ray William Johnson,
Oh yeah.
Freddie W.,
Oh yeah.
Philip DeFranco.
All right. So the,
Like,
OGs.
all
I don't know
different
any of these
The
people.
all
OGs.
different genres.
These are OGs.
Yeah,
that are
they're all
huge.
very different
Yeah.
channels, and so I was like, that looks cool. And I made YouTube videos when I was 14 too, so I was like, well, I mean, if I could just keep that up. So I tried a bunch of different genres. I tried special effects. I tried everything. Then one day I just did a car video, and it did well.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, that was really fun, and I enjoyed it. So I guess I'll just keep doing it. So then, at the day I graduated college, walked off stage, filmed like one of my first videos I ever did, and then I moved home to save money, and then I just kept doing it. Kept doing it, and then now I do 3 videos a week.
Well,
Yeah.
This is a crazy schedule.
yeah. And we'll get to that. Here's a big question that somebody just asked, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you know if it's working for you?
Yeah.
Because a
Great
lot of
question.
people just keep throwing videos up. I met a girl at one of these YouTube collaboration
Yeah.
parties in New York, and she was doing 90 videos in 90 days or something like
What? A video
incredibly,
That-
yeah.
But that's defeating the
But
algorithm. You're burning it out.
none of the videos had more than 12 or 15
Well, that's
views
the
on.
thing.
So like, when are you wasting your time? So
Yeah.
David, what is the formula? How do I know if what I'm doing is going in the right direction?
What I usually do is I'll film an event /car/ type of car once. And if that type of car does good, then I'm like, okay, what's its rival? So then I go after its rival.
Yeah.
So then if I do, say I went to go film H2O and it did terrible, I won't go back to H2O. So then I won't waste my time. So it's like the Woodward Dream Cruise. I love going to the Woodward Dream Cruise, but it never does well. So why would I pay all that money to go back, invest all that money to get a hotel, get everything else, just to not make any money back, when I could be filming a review at home, which will do 10 times better. So you kind of have to, like, especially when you first start, you do follow your heart, but at the same time, you have to be really logical.
Yeah,
Like, it's like, okay, I want to
agree.
drive this car, but is it really going to do that good? I don't know. So then you just kind of, you experiment. And I know the number one thing that helped me, especially in my age group, was I moved home. And that gave me a nice cushion in the back of my head that, if it doesn't work, it's going to be okay. And I'll just go off and do Hollywood stuff or whatever just to get by. So, but since it did work, I'm like, now I don't even know where I'm going to end up.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I get a house here or do I go somewhere else? But
Yeah.
the car scene is so different everywhere you go, so you don't know. But I know it's a little rambly, but
No.
experiment, have
At
fun,
least, yeah.
see what works.
So you're doing it for full time. So tell me how you started your how and why, and then Rob will get to you because
Sure.
the first video I saw of you was the Ford GT. So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But
It all started, like, I've always been in the cars as a kid, and I always was, like David said, made videos as a kid, random little things with my friends. But I started making videos when actually after watching Rob, David, Cody, Evan, multiple others, and I started watching, and I was like, I like cars. I used to film stuff like, I'm just gonna give things a shot. And I started to do it, and I just found some traction. I got some videos that did okay, and it started, you know, getting some viewership. And then I started to meet you guys throughout the way, and I don't know, it's kind of crazy. A year ago, I was on the other side of that screen.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching this myself as someone who didn't have a name for himself. I literally was like, wow, like, I could be there. Like, that would be my dream. If I knew those guys, that would be unreal. And it's crazy to think, like, I take a step back and I'm like, well, you're all my friends. And it's like,
one
I'm here.
thing
Safe
is
to say, living the dream.
Yeah. Well, one thing is so many people message me all the time going, "How do I get started?" I hate to break it to you. I go, just do it.
Yeah,
Just do it.
Well, the first step is make something.
But
Yeah.
also you have to do it and recognize if you're doing it well.
Yeah.
And
Correct,
if you're not getting views, if you're not getting subscribers, you
Change it
have to change something or do something else.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because not everybody was cut out to, and this is effectively entertainment. Not
Yeah.
everybody was cut out to be in the entertainment field.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
celebrities. Everybody
Yeah.
wants to be a celebrity because look, they're just all they do is show up and they get paid.
No.
Not everybody can be a celebrity. Well, I take that back. Go bang something interesting and you can be a celebrity.
Yeah,
But,
there you go.
but
Longevity, though. Wise.
but you have to, yeah, exactly. You'll burn out if you have one video. There's that one kid who doesn't make good content, but got the cop getting his foot run over or something.
Oh yeah, in New
Yeah.
York.
I don't know.
in the
Yeah,
Ferrari.
exactly. Nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
But he's got that one video. But
And
that
that's it.
doesn't mean that's exactly. It doesn't mean that you have anything. It means you videotaped Britney Spears falling off a truck. So
one
that will
viral
get
video.
view and
You can't do one viral.
exactly. So and you can't keep trying to do viral videos because that's it's like a lottery. You either get it or you
Always the
don't.
videos you don't expect a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So literally film anything and just not anything, but you know what I mean. Film, you know, for example, if somebody offers me a car review and I'm like, I'm on the fence about it, go film it anyway. Go film it, see what happens, and it'll be like, oh, okay, and it worked. I mean, getting pulled over, you know. I mean,
Who
That
knew?
wasn't bad.
no, I figured that was one of those where I'm like, I think this will do well,
Yeah.
and that's rare.
And because
A lot
of
of
the way
the
it also
time.
turned out, right? So
Correct,
you know, when it was happening, actually, none of us. In fact, I looked back and I saw. First thing I saw was the cop. Then I looked back and I saw that you had made it through. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then we started talking on the radio. He's like,
I heard
you're like, what do I do? I'm like,
No. I said, Cody, I could use your help out here.
Don't blow up his spot. He was cool as a cucumber.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
What folks didn't know from that video, by the way, is because they'd said a whole bunch of things about the cops and whatever, but I had come back around and I was there talking to them
They
off
were
camera
so
too.
cool.
These guys,
We're getting
were
blown
awesome.
out from the light outside.
Yeah, I know. That's right. Let me see if I can go take care of that. Tell us about how you got started.
Mine is kind of an interesting story. Like, I didn't really truly have any inspiration per se. I just kind of started in high school. I literally just, I had a GoPro and I had a car. So I literally I had this idea. And I was like, you know, I have things that I feel like people would enjoy hearing. So I just decided to make a vlog one day. And then I got a bunch of people saying, you should start to do this more often. I was like, this is weird, but okay, that's fine. So I started doing that consistently. And a lot of people started asking me, like, Evan, you know, I like how you drive manual cars, you know, make videos with manual transmission cars and stuff like that. So people started asking me, you know, how to explain how to do that kind of stuff. And I've always been pretty good at explaining things in public speaking. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and try this out. And that's really kind of always been my strong suit for my YouTube channel. It hasn't necessarily been like my vlogs and stuff like that have been popular. It's really my how-to and instructional type videos. But it's just kind of funny how it happened because it quite literally just happened. What's up?
Fun fact, I actually.
Oh, that's not even it.
Fun fact, I actually messaged
we're not using
Evan
that?
when I first got started out
He
for
did.
advice, basically.
Yeah.
So
It was funny because when he messaged me, he was like, I remember the message pretty much exactly. You go, I've been going to meets lately, and a lot of people have been saying stuff, and I checked out your channel, and I have to say I'm impressed. And I was like, oh, that's really cool to hear. And I went to your channel, I was like, wow, this dude can do some serious camera work. Like I was, this is awesome. And I just saw him blow up.
It's a $10 slider.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's that little effort that makes
yeah.
a world of difference.
The professionals.
It's awesome. Well, it's funny how because then we ended up hanging out over Xbox or whatever, talking about everything, and then right after that, what was it? Because I asked you for advice. Oh yeah, that's when. By the way, this is effective too. Sharing your channel on your channel page. Like that's what I said to you. I was like, hey, if you don't mind, I'm gonna put your channel on your my featured channels.
Yes.
And that does a lot.
And that's one of the things too.
Am I on your
people
people channel?
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
Let me run. For a second.
Hold on. Mom.
I'm very sure.
Yeah. So one of the things that you'll also see us do is the collaborations, right? So that I think not only do we cross-pollinate, but I think we have all met each other in different ways, and here we are together at one event.
It's funny because I was so in the dark until like late this year, until I started talking to him more, because y'all had collaborated a little bit, and I was like, I've done this for a long time, and I really like just doing school and vlogs every once in a while. It's getting kind of boring. I want to meet everyone. So he's like, hey, I'll get you in touch with DoctaM3. I was like, please, that'd be sweet. I've always seen your stuff, but I've never, introduced. I don't know. I've just always been like that.
Well, as soon as I was talking to you, like, what was it, 3 months ago, and you're like, I just can't wait for the Grand Prix.
I would not shut up about it.
Yeah, you would not. But it showed you were like
so happy.
Yeah, you were super happy to come, and that shows somebody who's genuinely excited and should be there.
And regardless of whether it makes my channel do well, it's just cool just to have to be in this realm of people that have a similar.
So I'm gonna ask a slightly different question, but I'm actually gonna tell you what I'm gonna see if you remember what your first YouTube video was. My first YouTube video is a whopping, and I'm gonna challenge all of you to go watch it because I think it has probably 600 views. Is a white BMW M6 with the Eisenman race exhaust. I went out to California and to San Diego actually to visit a buddy of mine who put the first one on, and I wanted to hear what it sounded like. So I recorded this little 6-second clip of this car flying through a parking lot, and that was my first YouTube video.
Don't take that the wrong way. A lot of it's because you had no traction.
Yeah.
Not traction with the tires. It's if a video either gets seeded well throughout the internet and it takes off, or it doesn't. And I went through my channel a year ago, and I'm like, I wonder what my lowest viewed video is. And I'm like, why is that so low? And I just deleted it and reposted it and went to 100,000 views from 18.
Just
it went to 100
because of that era.
Just because, but it wasn't, the quality still was.
It could hold up.
And actually, at the time, I wasn't even thinking about tags. I mean, all the sort of things that you do.
I don't even really play those games. The tag.
You don't put tags in? They're relevant to the video.
No, I just do Rob Ferretti super speeders, and then the direct.
Those are the ones people
if there's an M3 in the video, I'll put
that's what I mean.
But I don't go crazy with Top Gear and
no.
That doesn't really work anyway.
Things that are relevant to the video is what I meant. So, but the first couple of videos I uploaded, there were no tags.
I don't even think there was tagging available. Yeah, it was just the title.
Yeah.
What was your first YouTube video?
I had a channel before this one.
Yeah, I know. So did I, and I'll say my embarrassing one. Go ahead.
Let's hear it.
I had a channel before this. When I was like I said, when I was young, middle school maybe, and it got some traction. I think it got over 100,000 views.
Wow.
It was
not in my middle school.
It was a video of me in my backyard with my first MacBook, off of the little webcam. And it was how to make a smoke bomb with ping pong balls and tinfoil. In my backyard, I'm this squeaky voice. I'm like, this is how to make a smoke bomb. And I uploaded it, and it just blew up. It just blew up. But
literally blew up.
It literally blew up, and it's so embarrassing. And unfortunately, YouTube took it down because for whatever, I don't know.
Because you're promoting how to make a bomb.
Yeah, they deleted it after.
I don't know why. It's so uptight over there.
Man, my incendiary device.
I know. I just
so
don't get it.
So now you can check that one on Vimeo and Lively.
Exactly. Somebody's probably realized.
Mine was, I was really, for a long time when I was 14, 15, I wanted to be a special effects artist, and now I'm so glad I didn't do that route. But it was a lightsaber duel.
Really?
And it was...
With cats?
Wait, that's
no cat.
Good.
Huh? Jack versus David is still up
Okay,
on YouTube.
I've
It's
seen it.
old. It was 2006. I put it up, and it has like 25,000 views. And then, do you remember that show Robot Chicken?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I had like a live action version of that, and I would do that on the daily, and those would get like at the time on YouTube it was kind of a big deal. They get like 1,000 views each time. And I was like, oh, I'll keep doing this, but I was like, it was so
Did you
bad.
do it in that voice?
Well, no, my voice was probably 10 times higher than that. So yeah, totally.
All right. So question: what was everybody's first car?
88 Pontiac Bonneville, which you have to put it in context because I'm 35, turning 35 in a couple of days. But I got an 88 Bonneville in 98, so I got a 10-year-old shitty car.
E90 BMW. Thanks, Mom.
Oh, gee, I was going to say.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Did you wear like a scarf?
I had it was a rolling toaster. I had a Scion XV.
Oh, I forgot about
That's
that.
your
I
generation
forget
now.
about it too.
No,
forget about it.
mine was a hand-me-down. It was a 02 Mustang, and I looked.
Good hand me down.
Yeah. Well, I was believe it or not, I was looking for a DSM, but I couldn't find one that wasn't blown up.
Yeah.
And then my dad like it was a straight up midlife crisis car. I mean, like automatic.
That's a great first
Yeah.
car.
Oh, it was an amazing first car. I was very lucky, very blessed.
I had an early Land Rover Discovery. It was constantly covered in mud and it knocked like a
And
tractor.
broken.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
always broken. Yeah.
Oh man.
My first car was a pretty used Taurus. It was,
The
it, was
show?
it was the SHL.
Oh,
I love
but
those.
man, it was,
Showtime.
I mean, it was just like it needed a lot of work. But it was an SHL, so it was just like yes.
Hey,
I
that
think
motor was
giving-
supposed
yeah.
to be emitted in sports car. motor,
Giving
so-
a young kid something that needs work, I think, is great because they learn
I
how
think so,
things
how they
work
deal, yeah, the
I
and
see
how
true.
things work.
I kind of wish I had that stage because my car ran fine the whole time, and I know that sounds weird as a contradiction. Like I wanted my car to break, but at least to
But
know
you know
what.
know what's going wrong. Yeah.
Exactly.
troubleshoot.
My car would stall in the winter, and I remember bringing it to the dealer. It's just like,
Yeah.
don't have to go to the dealer. You just start it back up.
Yeah.
But I was so
Do it
concerned with like
yourself.
driving it too far because I'm like, well, just stall.
Yeah.
Let's break.
All right. Next question: what are the cars that are behind you guys?
You go first.
So behind me
You want to
is
stand up for?
Huracan, Red Huracan.
the Red Storm. There
Wait,
it
you
is.
named your car the Red Storm?
Yeah.
It is the Red Storm. Oh, come on. It's gotta-
Huracan, you know, it works.
All right, what's your car's name?
It doesn't have a name, actually.
Well, let's come up with a name.
Edmobile.
Headmobile.
How about
So
Bessie?
the other, well, you gotta
Betsy.
Bessie.
So,
Betsy.
Betsy's an old.
no,
Yeah.
so hold on, you gotta show that one. So
Oh, yeah.
This is
Come on,
my
Jake.
2004 CL55 AMG that we use for the New York to LA drive. And it's the daily driver when traffic's too bad for the LP640.
yeah, so Ed is in Atlanta, so he can drive his Lambo every day.
That's right.
Just about.
So if I had $3,
That doesn't bode well for these people aspiring to your YouTube.
I
Keep the change.
no, well,
Expander,
he's
make-
probably referencing Balboni. I don't know if
Yes.
you saw that picture.
No.
And when we were in Vegas for the adventure drive, I was in the casinos hanging out with JF and Trimble. And Balboni comes up, gives me a ticket, like a casino
Yeah.
ticket. And he's like, buy yourself something nice. And I look at 5 cents. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Great sense of humor.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, if there was a 5-cent slot, you would have gotten it.
Oh, yeah. No, it was funny. He was a good guy. Balboni's an awesome guy.
Yes.
All right. Next question is: what is everyone's dream car?
Oh.
What's everyone's dream car?
I know mine.
McLaren F1.
Why?
Why?
No, I want to
I
know
just
why. 'cause
rolled off
It's
his tongue.
easy to yell
think,
like the.
I truly think that it's an incredible car. Like everything about it. The fact that they made, I don't know, the fact that they designed the car that way and then they decided, let's just slap a seat right in the middle of it like an F1 car and just
Have you driven it?
Have you?
I absolutely would want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I was like,
let me qualify that. I love the Celine S7.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Loved it until I had one. It was
Oh,
the biggest
that's right,
piece of
you
shit
did
on the
have one.
planet. Yeah, it was like a
It's a
nightmare to
hard
drive.
car to
It
drive.
was just I had it on the track. I had it in the street. It was a nightmare to drive. It was almost unusable.
Really?
It looks super cool.
Yeah.
It does
Like
look
We
it's
had
still
this
one of the
discussion
best looking
last
cars,
time.
and I almost want to buy one just to have it in the garage. Be like,
cool.
look at that.
I got one.
Yeah. Which
But-
just-
But it's just, it was
Yeah.
such a piece of shit, unfortunately.
Well, that's sometimes what happens,
So
right?
that-
You look at something and you're like, oh my god, it's so great, and then you get it and the experience.
But I mean, I feel like when you ask somebody what's your dream car, they always the most expensive
Yeah,
car on the
it's-
planet,
I
and
think-
it's like, why?
I think even though my dream car is very expensive, I think you would agree with me. It would be Koenigsegg.
Koenigsegg. Yeah, it's a toss up right now for
Okay.
me
All right, let's hear it.
between a Pagani Zonda, not the Huayra, and the Koenigsegg. And the Koenigsegg, one of like the Ageras or something,
Yeah.
something probably even paddle shift, not stick shift. But the Zonda would be stick shift and not paddle shift. Because I drove the Agera and that thing was just batshit crazy. It was so cool, so well built, so thought out.
And the engineering. I saw
and the
your
engineering.
video. That I was
Yeah.
just
But the Zonda just sounds and
Sounds.
looks so good.
Yeah.
And the
Well, the
Huayra lost it for me. So those are the dream cars at the moment.
Well, it's hard because, with like a Saleen, you can either build a very small number of cars and they're going to be so-so in quality, or you can over-engineer them the way they did with a Veyron or a Koenigsegg or a Pagani, and they're really quality stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all those. I've had about 20 cars in the last 10 years, and I just bought my dream car. It's one of the 26 U.S. manual LP640s.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There's only 26 of them?
There's only 26 that came
I know a
in,
guy who
so-
just bought another one.
Oh, yeah. There's a few up near you, but mine's the only green coupe.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, why would anyone make a Lambo in green? I was at the Verde Ithaca.
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking Lambos get away with green.
Yeah.
Certain supercars can get away with greens. I was thinking like the hunter green Corvettes and everything. That you see, and you're like,
no.
oh, why did you do that?
No.
Well, I always loved the Verde Draco car that was the European press car that Clarkson drove on Top
Okay.
Gear. And
Oh, yeah.
crashed once in England very famously, but it's there's no U.S. Verde Draco Lamborghinis, so if anyone's out there looking
Little
a
tip
unique
for
color.
people buying cars: when you buy a black car, make sure it's black.
yeah.
I've gotten bit twice. Once I bought a Rolls Royce, which was how was it?
Is that Spider-Man?
No, it was. I bought it because I was doing a Top Gear promotion for the U.S. Top Gear. So we bought it and had it wrapped immediately, yellow,
Yeah.
like a taxi cab.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it wasn't until a month later when we took the wrap off to be like, holy shit, this thing's purple. And it's Black Kirsch was the
Black Kirsch.
So I'm like, yeah, I
it
just
was
need a
black.
black Rolls Royce, and it was Black Kirsch, which Kirsch in German I think means purple. So it was literally black purple, but I wasn't expecting it to be fucking purple. and now I have a
This
yeah,
black
but
Rolls Royce.
that was at least subtle purple. Now I just bought a Range Rover, which was black Barossa, which is just fucking purple. And they pulled it into the shop. I was like, get that thing out of here. I said, get it back to the dealership, call them up. And we spent like $105,000 on this thing. And I'm like, bring it back. Like, and so they gave me another one, which was black. Cost me a couple $1,000, but I'm done. So just because a car has black in the name doesn't mean it's black. So do your research and make sure your car is the color you hope it is.
Or just don't buy black cars because then you have to clean them all.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
never
not
have
if they're
black car
purple.
again. As like black cars when they're clean look phenomenal, but they're never clean. So
I love a rainy Cars and Coffee because my car's always dirty.
Yeah.
All y'all's cars are so dirty.
yeah,
I had it clean right before this.
my car's a 10-footer. The bright color, it
All right,
it hides everything.
All right, fire
All
away.
right, next question. How many times have you been arrested?
Tampa.
so we have one person who is notorious for being caught speeding
Oh.
and one for not being caught speeding.
It's in his name too.
That's right.
I didn't even come up with that name.
Really?
Oh, really?
So tell us the origin of it.
Inside Edition came up with that name.
Inside
That's right.
Edition.
Yeah, no,
My-
they were on the news.
Yeah, I was on a bunch of news channels, especially back in 06, 05, 06. This is before, it was 05, I think. This is before YouTube, believe it or not. There was a time,
05,
guys.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, I remember,
There was
I
a
remember the
time
first time I saw
They're
it.
shocked.
where YouTube
Before all
didn't exist. And I put the videos like on the internet, and they were downloaded and everything, and I made DVDs of us racing around and doing what I think has been done for centuries, well, not centuries, but for decades,
Yeah.
ever
Probably
since
good with
cool
them.
cars were made, there was people hooning around in them. So we'd go out and hoon them. I'd film, and I'd put the compilation together and sell it, and or upload it directly to websites and small snippets to drive traffic to the videos. And the news caught wind of it, and it was like this big deal. Now YouTube, there's everything I do. It's like, yeah, so what?
Yeah.
You can see that.
Happens every day.
You type in anything. You type in like Range Rover crash. Boom, you got a Range Rover.
Yeah.
Probably somebody doing it on purpose. And that's essentially how the Super Speeders name came up, because they're like, super speeders are out there. I'm like, I like that. I'm gonna take that.
Gotcha.
Thank you very much.
Publicity is publicity.
That's right.
Why did you buy the i8 over the Tesla?
Ooh.
It was my
I didn't buy an i8. Why did I buy an i8 over a Tesla?
McLaren turnaround.
McLaren, yeah. I'm a BMW guy. Love BMWs. I didn't need the practicality of, really, I guess, 5 extra seats or whatever. And although I think Tesla did a really good job of sort of promoting and really getting folks to accept the electric car, and they're great. And TJ, you said this when we test drove it. They're like a little bit of a one-trick pony. The insane mode or whatever, 0 to 60 times, and then it kind of just falls on
Above
its face.
70, it's gutless.
Really?
It just falls on its face.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's
But
the first 0
if
to
you're just
60
running
is
around,
so fun.
let's say we're car guys, but if you think about most people, they're looking for something
The stoplight,
to move the family, whatever. For me, I wanted the sportiness, and actually, the interesting thing about the i8 is it's kind of dual personality, right? So you can make it electric. It looks out of this world to begin with. I still can't believe BMW
Looks
actually
different.
It
built
does.
the
looks
concept.
different.
Yeah, it built the concept.
Sorry.
You can tell he's from like Virginia. He's so PG.
What's that? Yeah, PG. That's right. But then you flip it over, and you've got something. 0 to 60 time is just as fast as the current M3 and M4, and it's just the torque. I mean, you agree?
It's a baby 918.
Yeah.
Like I remember the last day I was here with Alex, the Speed.
Yeah. I don't know if
you were
he's
like,
watching.
You were like half asleep. You're like, David, go grab me pizza.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So I drove the A8 to the pizza place. I'm
Wait,
like,
when a
this
guy
is
just
great.
says, "Go grab me a
Yeah.
pizza," you're
I'm
just like, "Okay."
Yeah, no.
Oh, you drives out.
I'm in the i8 though. The i8 though. I'm like, okay. So that was my first time driving it. And I enjoyed it a lot. It's not too crazy. It's a great around town car. It's
It's easy to drive.
It's really easy to drive. Eli loved it too.
Yeah.
the car is fun.
You heard Eli's watching, by the way. So let's say
Hi,
shout out
Eli.
to Eli 123.
1, 2, 3.
Eli
Ruben.
Ruben 123
Yeah.
from YouTube and Ignition Tube.
We got
Alright.
Carlisle on here and Jerky XP as well.
Oh, Jerky XP. Hey guys,
We missed your jerky today.
and Carlisle. So go check out Jerky XP and Carlisle Picks. Great guys on YouTube, and Jack the CEO. All right, what else?
Next question.
Give us the dumbest question.
How's
you
the
got.
NSX doing?
My NSX? It's actually there'll be another video to follow up.
Dude, on my adventure drive videos, that's the #1 thing people say the most. Like, where's the NSX crash?
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's not. I mean,
It's not
to
even
call
a
it a crash,
crash.
I've actually made a video about which
Yes.
completely shows the damage.
Yeah.
It's most of it's sort of buffed out. I don't know if it's an aluminum door. It may need a new door because when you look from the side, you do sort of see not a wave, but you do see it's not the form has lost it slightly. But it's like I could drive it every day, and most people wouldn't even notice it's been hit. Recently, I noticed that the rear wing was keyed. Yeah, I know. And I hadn't driven it since the trip, so it was either keyed at the car wash because I left it at the car wash after they detailed it, or it was keyed in my shop. And I've got security cameras all over my shop, but the problem is I don't like inspect my cars every day to see if they were damaged. And we have a lot of people. It's like a public. You can come in and say, "Hey, can I check out the rental cars?" And we'll usually just be like, "Go ahead, take a look in the back. If you have any questions, come grab us." And so there's the opportunity. Why somebody? It could have even happened on the trip. I just didn't notice it. But there. But I mean, I'm painting the door anyway, so I'll paint the wing.
Yeah, get it done.
So car, get it done. All right, that's the NSX update.
All right. What's the worst car you guys have driven?
Worst car.
Worst car.
I mean, worst as in, I mean, I've driven my slew of $500 cars, but that's.
What about that BMW insurance BMW? You just ran it.
Oh no, I still got it. Yeah,
Insurance.
We took the Craigslist one to lunch.
yeah.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
I mean it's not a bad car. It's essentially like a detuned M5 of
Yeah.
sorts. So I mean, a bad car to me is something that's just not fun to drive. And even if it's a shitty car, it can be fun to drive.
Oh,
These
yeah,
things
yeah,
are
yeah,
falling
yeah,
off
yeah.
of it. Like,
Oh,
oh shit,
Yeah,
my wing
yeah.
just fell off. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's just because a car is cheap or not, it doesn't look good. Doesn't mean it's not fun to drive. I can't say there's anything that stands out in my head as something that was like really a boring
Nothing's ever
car.
stained me that bad.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no. Yeah, it's like,
I mean, yeah,
That's too short.
even like the manual like Toyota Yaris that we get in like
you
Europe.
can reprint those.
Yeah, but it's not like the thing goes like 112
Yeah, you're
miles
like-
an hour, and it's like this slow ass diesel. But it's a manual, so it's
Yeah.
got the redeeming
You got
value of.
something to do.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that stands out.
There's just a lot of new cars though now that are just so underwhelming when you get in them, just because they've
Or
gotten so
maybe that's a
numb.
better question. What have you
Yeah.
gotten in that's disappointed you, so that you've expected more?
Ooh, that's a
You're welcome for that.
Look at that.
Cody,
I'm gonna get crucified.
go
for
ahead.
my
Throw it down.
15 STI.
Oh.
They're gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
You're
I'll post his address in the comments.
But redeeming quality. I rode in one with an aftermarket exhaust and headers, fixed it. It was so much better.
Say Subarus are the most.
It's so
underwhelming car
quiet.
stock, really.
It's so quiet. Like it's a Corolla with a turbo on it.
I
That's what
think
it felt
we're
like.
moving to that disappointing level though. 'Cause a lot of cars are going to turbo, and you're taking, and not that that's a bad thing, but you're taking cars that had a personality like Ferraris
Yes.
that sounded amazing, and you're sort of snipping the nuts.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I even admit that my Corvette sounded awesome when it had a cam on it and headers, and then when it had the supercharger on it. When I switched to the turbo, it's loud, but it lost that bark.
Yeah.
We were actually just talking about this the other day, actually last night, that the 458 compared to the 488. If you listen to the first of all, the design is just a mess.
Yeah.
But if you
Headlights.
listen to the exhaust between even the Speciale and the 488, you can tell it's just been muted. It's not. It's not the same.
It's not even that it's, it just, you're feeding all the exhaust through the turbos, and it's really hard to then
It buffers
recreate
up.
the
Exactly.
exhaust. Yeah.
And they tried. I mean, it sounds louder than I thought it was going to sound, but it's not. It doesn't have the
Doesn't punch
characteristic
you.
of.
I've driven the
458.
California T is the
Yeah.
closest I've driven to a
Mhm.
turbo Ferrari, and it's just
Didn't you drive one of those? Or
Yeah, I
no,
mean,
he did. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's just so many cars that, as a dealer, that we get on trade
Yeah.
with 500 or 1,000 miles, where the novelty just wears off so quickly.
like the i8.
About half McLaren.
Not so far.
Well, but it does happen. Either
Okay.
either it works for you or it doesn't.
does,
And when
yeah.
you've ordered it 2 years in advance, you'll
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
But, we trade so many, 991 Turbo S's, so many GTRs and things, where the novelty of just going fast in a video game-ish car
Yeah.
wears off pretty fast, and people come in, they want something that's a little bit more raw, and that, which is obviously, something that will be a thing of the past quite soon.
In Florida, a friend of mine named Javier, he's on that racing channel, the Roll Racing channel. Well, he
He's
had.
in one of your videos.
Oh yeah, he's great. He has the black Supra I drove.
Yeah.
And he had a GTR that would just wreck people's day
Yeah.
all day long.
Yeah.
He got bored. And he finally was like, I got a Supra because it was more
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah.
And he was like, it was harder to get as fast, but
Yeah.
it just had more character.
This question has been frequently asked. Would you Liberty Walk a 458 or a Huracan?
Oh,
I
I've seen
don't
both.
really like Liberty Walk.
Can I
I
just
think
say
Liberty
no?
Walk is good for totaled cars. Like if it's seriously, like
That's
if
actually
On a salvage
you
plan,
have a salvage car, you're just ask Ed, you're destroying the resale on your car. Like you're narrowing the market to 1 in 100 buyers, and that 1 in 100 buyers is probably going to beat you up on price because he knows he's 1 in 100. So
Yeah.
even though that's the exact car he wants, and he
Yeah.
would normally pay more, it just devalues a normal car. But if you get a car that's got a salvage title, it's damaged, and
You get
you would
for
have
the
to put you'd have to put 70,000 in body into it anyway. Then go get the Liberty. I don't know what they cost, but I'm assuming like 40 grand.
They're a
Go
lot.
put it on, and you have your different car that that you stitch together.
That's
But
the same
I
for
think
any-
it's sort
Yeah.
of a waste. It's,
Yeah.
and you're putting it on cars that the point of flared fenders is to give more grip on a car that needs more grip that can't fit the tire.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. But these cars, it's not like they need more grip, like especially Ferraris and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they've got all the grip they need. Now all you're doing is putting it on because it looks different. And
the one thing the hardest thing for me to watch actually is them
do it.
when they do it. I mean, with a jigsaw or whatever.
Well, they just go to town. They don't care, man.
Look, you're just like, oh,
They go to town.
it is just painful to watch.
It is an interesting process to apply to get a livery walk kit because you like hang out with the guys and everything. That's kind of interesting. But
you hang out with me, I'll destroy your car too.
it's not, I don't know if it's applied, but they want to get to know you essentially.
I want to make sure they fit like what they're trying to get
Well,
across.
could it be because their product might need slight defending in time, so you have to be a believer? And if you order something and then you get it and you change your mind and you don't like it anymore, that could be bad PR.
Yeah. I mean, we have issues with all-wheel drive Lambos that just have the wrong tires on them, and blow up the differentials. I can't
I've
imagine.
seen that. Yeah, with the
But
real tires.
at our Carson Coffee last week in Atlanta, Nikai-san from RWB was there. He just finished the first one who lives in Atlanta, and I talked to him. And, great guy, fascinating work. But he said he built 50 cars last year, and so to have such a hands-on approach. But it's like any modification. I mean, when you personalize a car to that extent, then inherently it's not mass appealing.
Did he
anymore.
actually build 50 cars though?
Well, he modified 50 cars around.
Hey, can you change the oil? Sure, no problem. That's one.
Modified.
I think he had the jigsaw for it, but
I just can't imagine. There's not that many out there. The demand every time a company like that always touts these random numbers, and they go to business. Like SSC was a perfect example.
Yeah.
They sold maybe 3 cars,
Wow.
and it just like they always
I
tout
like
how
those
many.
cars.
They're pretty cool.
It's along the line of the S7. It's just an unusable thing that can go really fast.
You had that, did you, on one of your.
I went out
yeah,
for the
yeah.
testing, and then the car kept overheating, and
this.
it was just a complete mess. And I don't know. To
The
me,
Ultimate
it's
Arrow or the new
the
one?
Ultimate Era.
Okay.
I feel like the wide body stuff.
they ever come out with
in
the
the
new
No, the
exotic
Tatara or
world
whatever.
is-
I don't
you're
think
gonna
they
keep
even
that
came
car
out
on
with it.
your
They made it
bike.
look cool.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you love it that
It's
much.
the same thing with like the
Rocket
86s.
Bunny,
It's like
Rocket
people
Bunny,
who do it,
yeah.
keep them because they know once you do that, it's
They'll
such
pay
a
you for it.
process
Yeah,
to do it in
yeah.
the first place that it's like
Let's
so decent.
hope somebody hits you at SEMA. So you can I know.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Fender flare land.
But good for them. I mean, if they're making
Never
the
put it
car
out.
exactly what they want,
Good for them.
versus
Good for
just
them.
cycling through stuff off the shelf
I
every
agree.
year or
I
18
agree.
months, then by all means.
All right, what's up?
What was the best cop moment you guys have had?
I haven't had any.
Don't look at me.
Oh, he doesn't have any.
I haven't had any. I don't know.
He only
Oh,
has
yeah,
like 5
seriously.
When I was, were you
Oh, go, Evan.
Okay, I was just gonna say when I was 16, the first time I ever got pulled over, I was going like 15 over, and just like a 45-mile-an-hour thing. And this cop pulls me over, and she's a woman, and I'm just like in my head, I'm just like I have to make something up because I really just don't want to
Show
get in
your
trouble
tits?
here. No, I told her I had diarrhea, and she was like, "Do we need to call an ambulance?" I'm like, no, I just really need to get home and go to the bathroom. And she, no ticket, no nothing. She's like,
just
"All
went,
right,
Wow.
Now
I'm
you
gonna
know
let you
what
go."
to say.
I had a buddy of mine actually peed on himself in a traffic stop to get out of a ticket.
Oh, that's a bit nuts.
I would
I
just
wouldn't
spill
go.
some water on
Yeah.
myself, like, because
There's
nobody's
lots of
gonna be
water
like,
alternatives.
"Let me smell and make sure you're not bullshitting me."
No.
I get pulled over a lot because I drive like this
Fancy
guy.
cars.
I generally get out of it, but I was given press rides down at the Masters Golf Tournament in a couple of years ago when the Vicaloria had just come out. And
You can get me tickets for that, right? Just saying,
Wait, you should
throwing it out there online, so
And
it's
so,
now real.
it's sideways around every turn, but it's just residential neighborhoods, and we were going nuts. So every cop in the county shows up, and whenever you get pulled over in an exotic car, the best thing to say is, "Would you like to drive it?" And because it lightens the mood,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, I can't with my gun," and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I'll hold your gun, just.
I'll chase you.
But I usually say that, well, come back to the store sometime when you're off duty. We'll go for a ride or something. Well, this one guy did later that night, and he just kept leading me to this place he wanted me to go because he could go really fast. But as it turned out, he hadn't been there in about 15 years.
It's like,
And so it was a bridge into South Carolina, and he's like, go, go. And so we clipped almost 200, a little over one night, and he was, just loving it. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere.
Somewhere out there, yeah.
It was good.
Voted by a police officer.
No, my best cop moment is not the red light though. Believe it or not, it's last year I was reviewing a turbocharged Integra, and it was I believe it or not, it was a lot of fun, and it hooked in second for a Honda. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It made like 450 horsepower, and we finished the whole review. It goes perfect, and the owner, Chris, I'm like, okay, so I just need a shot of you rolling by. That's all I need. You don't have to do anything. I see you try you just going by this shit with the car.
Oh no.
So I get out of the car. He has this big old grin on his face. I'm like, oh no. And he goes, wah, blah, blah. Anti-lag, fire coming out the back, burns all the way down the street, marks all the way down. Old lady on her porch rocking goes, calls the cops right then. I'm like, oh no. And of course, it being a turbo Honda being beat on, it overheated. So right there, it overheated in front of this person's house with the hood open with a GoPro on the side of the car that I tried to grab, and then the cop showed up right then. I'm like, so then he gets out of the car and goes, I need to get witnesses, and and he goes, this is just ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. And Chris, out of nowhere, is like, oh no, dude, we're sorry. Our car broke down. There's this other person we just so happened to be cruising with. He was in a blue Civic hatch, and he was showing off, and he didn't burn out, and he left it that way. And he goes, I don't believe. And he goes, it's the truth, man. It's the truth. He just went out and chased the blue Honda. Yeah. But
pretty lucky.
I just think that's so stupid, though. Like, you did a burnout. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Cop shows up. You don't need witnesses. You don't need a detective.
Yeah, it was
Who gives a flying
insane.
fuck?
Yeah, it was insane. Like, and it was in the middle of nowhere too.
Did I just
like
go from PG to like now you have to NSFW?
Yeah.
I want to know yours. Like, as I grew up watching you.
I mean, I have a lot of them that are online already.
Pretty much. Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's the ones where the cameras weren't rolling, so to speak, which would probably be more interesting to people because you've seen a bunch of them. And I've got about 3 more, so about 45 minutes more of like edited pullovers that I can string together that exist already.
Yeah.
But there's times that I've gotten pulled over where we didn't have the cameras rolling that were funny. 3 of them that come to mind. One was after we filmed and left that Jeep out in Fresno, California. We were taking our rental car back to like dinner or something like that. So we're driving, the sun just went down, and we're driving. I'm like, look at this car coming. Let me get in front of it. So literally, I sort of just beeline through this turn, and I take a wide turn and cut through, and all of a sudden it's like, oh fuck, I cut off the top. So I've got Danny Nardi in the car, and like the cop walks up to her side of the car, which is good. She's a good-looking girl, so I'm like, all right, maybe we'll. And we're driving whatever it is, a Hyundai or something.
Yeah.
It's just a rental car, and she's like. I'm like, hey, why'd you pull me over? And and he's like, you didn't stop at the stop sign back there. And she was like, no, we definitely stopped. I'm like, no. I'm like, oh, I thought I stopped and like rolled through it. And he's like, you didn't even look like you slowed down. And I'm like, all right, do what you must. And that just the way he like looked at me after I said that and said like, didn't even look like you slowed down. That was a great moment.
Yeah.
We had another one that, we had the police chases that weren't, 2 police chases that weren't, or the ones that come to mind. One when I was racing on the Garden State Parkway up in New York, and there's a cop turnaround, which is like where the starting line is. So I'm like lined up to race as the cars lined up beside the street racing thing.
Yeah.
And this is 15 years ago.
Statute of limitations.
No, I don't get whatever. And they, so here I am, like in the left lane, right where the cop turned out, and that, like as soon as I glance over, state trooper coming in, lights on, and I'm like, you know what, let's just drive away, like almost like nothing was gonna happen because there's so many people like stopped around that he'll probably go for that. No, he decided to chase me. So I'm like, all right, fuck this, we're out of here. So I took off, and at the end, you got about 2 miles of stretch before you get to some different interchanges. And here the cop is like, lights going. I'm like, all right, he's going to give up eventually and like go after everyone else once he sees I'm running. And no, he decided he wanted me.
Oh, you're the
so here, and everyone, it's got to be great for the people like past the finish line. Boom, cop, the Corvette rips by the cop in pursuit. So I get on the one highway, and then another cop comes onto the on-ramp, lights going. I'm like, all right, this is happening now. Because it's like at that point in time, it's all or nothing. Like, what's an evading charge on top of or whatever it So, so we take
More
off.
jail.
Yeah,
Actually,
more jail.
yeah.
Yeah. No, because it's just more tickets.
Yeah.
Same jail, more tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I'll always remember I was driving, it was like 2 in the morning, something stupid. And there was a person, where was it? Oh, he was in the middle lane, and I'm coming up at like $140. I'm hauling ass. And all of a sudden he just says, fuck it, let me go in the left lane. I'm like, why would you do that? And he like cuts me off, and I was at 140 or 150, full brake, cutting the wheel, and this is why every jerk off in the world that takes like, I'm better than this car, traction control off. I had like active handling or something on, and active handling definitely came on, but it steered me right sort of around that guy. So then I took another couple of highways, and I parked it at my friend's house, and then took his Lexus home. So I got away from the cops. But they went back to the spot afterwards, and they're like, the cops like up and down 59, looking in the trees with spotlights and everything, looking for him. I'm like, oh, that was close.
Yeah.
That's good. How do you top that story?
I've got more, but it's all right. But we're running out of time. What else do we have?
All right,
Alrighty.
we've got about 5 minutes or so.
Aventador SV has been released. What are your thoughts about it, and would you get rid of the Avenger?
No, we were talking about this earlier. The Anniversario car is just a great and special car. I love it. The SV is awesome. It is
I'm not picking dumb enough questions. Let me see what we got here.
Yes.
Highest speeding ticket you've ever gotten?
highest speeding ticket I've ever gotten. Probably
Quicker.
90.
90, that's nothing.
56 and a 25. You said mine was 82 and a 75.
All right, the short answer is they write you for reckless after like 100, usually over 105 or something like that. It goes reckless. The fastest I've been pulled over 194 in California.
Ooh,
That's awesome.
No ticket.
no
What
ticket.
car?
No ticket. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
That's the. Can I help you with something, guys?
Oh,
Yeah,
no way.
Let's see. When David ran the red light. No idea. Favorite car show?
Pittsburgh Carson.
So many now.
Yeah. Okay.
Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix.
No. I said dumb question. Where did Cliff go? Who's Cliff?
Porsche.
Oh.
Porsche kid. He's working. We got to get ready for the hangar party here soon.
What is X Hamster? Is that a porn site?
Yes.
You're not on camera. It's all right. XHamster.com, everybody. Yeah.
What's your favorite drive you've ever done?
Adventure Drive.
The adventure drive?
I'd probably say one of the rallies that I did out west, either Fuel Run or Italian Stuff.
I don't think we have to ask Ed.
Yeah, tough call.
Yeah.
2JZ and a BRZ.
I've seen it done. It's awesome. Ryan Turek is the man.
What is
Does
that?
it make
Can
1,000
jet fuel
horsepower and still
melt
run
what?
10s?
Steel beams.
Can jet fuel melt steel beams?
Someone commented that on a video.
It's conspiracy theory shit. from
Today's the
9/11.
12th, man. That's yesterday.
That was yesterday. Next car, Doc.
What's that?
Next car.
Next car? I don't know.
How big does the garage get? That's a question
man.
for you guys, because we're older now.
I love the Regera. It is.
I don't like it. I don't like the look.
I like the engineering in
I
it,
like
but the look is on
The look is not as
The little
aggressive.
snouts. There's something about those holes that bother me.
I don't know. I want to see that car.
Well, what's the limitation of your garage? Is it money? Is it space?
It's
Is it,
space for me.
And how many cars do you see yourself? Always rotating 3?
Well, I have 5 right now.
Okay.
4 in the garage.
Okay.
So
daily and then 4 toys. Ed?
So you know it's going to get really loud in about 5 minutes.
All right. So there's a jet going to be coming in. Airplanes coming in because after all, we're in a hangar. So let me do this. Let me introduce again and tell you about the YouTube channel for each of these guys. And we'll maybe take a few more questions. And then once the plane arrives, we'll just say,
We'll
shut it
just
down.
fade the black.
Yeah.
So SuperspeederRob on YouTube, TJ Hunt, also YouTube, Evan Shanks, ThatDudeinBlue, Ed Bolian, and a couple of shout outs to a few others. Jerky XP and Eli 123, Eli Rubin 123. I keep saying Eli 123. Eli Rubin 123 and Ignition Tube.
And Rob Dom.
And
Rob
Rob.
Dom. Yeah, that's right. Where is he?
Hey,
He's
nice.
missing.
He's
So
missing.
he's MIA.
He's
driving.
missing as much as his forward.
Yeah. Oh,
that hurts. That hurts.
He's gonna
Missing
watch
as much
this.
as his dignity. I'm just kidding.
There burns in there close
Couple
by?
before the plane comes.
Turbo or supercharged?
It depends on the application.
Yeah, supercharger sounds better. Car show car supercharger, speed turbo.
And will we be periscoping after this live stream?
Probably.
Oh yeah, we'll periscope.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not?
Fairly shitty
Absolutely.
Wi-Fi or signal here.
Yeah,
It's all right. Yeah,
What else we got?
solid.
Hybrid
How
or no
come I
hybrid?
get
918.
No.
No hybrid.
Anything else?
Nope.
Did we learn anything?
All right.
Here, go get me a pizza.
Wait, what's your rental?
It's a Ford Fiesta.
Let's go.
I asked when I was getting my rental car, I'm like, do you have anything in stick? They're like, no, it's not Europe. And I'm like, all right, give me something with knee brace.
Did they seriously know it's not Europe?
Yeah, well, that's what you said. It's not Europe. So. It was from budget.
All right, guys. Thanks again for watching.
See you guys.
All right, guys. Ciao.
Let it run for a little bit.
What's that?
Let it run for a little bit and cut it out.
Yeah. So do this.
Okay. Yeah, same with mine. Nobody was around.
Nobody was around, but it was evening that night. I didn't know that that night. School zones were still.
Yeah, school zones are. Oh, no, it shouldn't be. Oh, you're going to watch me edit now? That's right. Oh, was that, am I getting in the way of what you're doing?
So I got your suit.
So guys, we just completed the live stream. As you can see, it's still up. So that's it. Thanks, guys, for watching. Ciao.